there has been this very weird trend in the spirituality community where people are using their so-called intuition or downloads from the universe to predict the death of Donald Trump. And I just have to say this bluntly, that is not intuition, that is projection. First and foremost, I don't care how polarizing or how controversial someone is. It is deeply unethical, and not just spiritually, but like as a human being, to be speculating on publicly about someone's death. And masking this kind of projection under words like intuition and spiritual downloads does not make it any less toxic. Intuition is meant to be a tool that is used for healing and guidance. It is not meant to be used for some kind of spiritual hit job. In my opinion, publicly wishing death on someone, no matter who they are, is one of the most karmically dangerous things that you could possibly do. You are calling in the very energy that you are warning everyone about. You are literally aligning yourself with darkness and calling it light. You're not speaking the truth, okay? You're spellcasting. And whether you realize it or not, that energy doesn't just disappear into the void, okay? It boomerangs back to the people who are doing it. But here's where it gets real, because Saturn, the literal planet of karma, discipline, and accountability, just moved into Aries. And Aries is fast, fiery, and bold, okay? Saturn in Aries does not play around. Karma that used to take years to unfold, yeah, now that's showing up at your doorstep in days, even hours. Saturn doesn't deal in shortcuts, and it definitely does not reward spiritual clout chasing. Saturn will teach you that the energy that you put out must be directed with responsibility, because the energy that you put out, especially with intention, returns to you multiplied. So when you broadcast these death prophecies and you call it intuition, Saturn sees manipulation, not mastery. True spiritual leadership does not involve tapping into the collective shadow in order to gain likes and follows. True spiritual leadership calls for discernment, it calls for maturity, and it calls for restraint. And when I say that, I don't mean that Saturn in Aries is asking you to be passive. What I mean is that it is asking you to look with discernment and consider the force behind your actions. If your intuition is really that strong, then use it to empower, to awaken, to heal. Don't use it to play judge, jury, and executioner. You can criticize people's actions. You can hold your leaders accountable. But the moment that you start weaponizing your spiritual gifts and start forecasting their death, you become part of the problem. And one thing about Saturn, he always keeps the receipts. So you better be ready when he comes knocking on your door next.